Hello, Shihan Steve here. Today I want to share with you on the subject of never quitting. And there are of course so many awesome examples in the world of sports and business and science that we could have chosen from. But today I want to talk to you about one of my heroes, Claude from this book, Toughen Up, and another one of my heroes, my son Harley. And I want to tell you both of their stories and how they applied the principle of never quitting to become the successes that they are. And first, I want to read the story about Claude going to an elite special forces school in Canada. And he says, there were 21 of us on day one, and we all came from different backgrounds. Some were divers like myself, some were search and rescue technicians, and others were infantrymen or medics. It was a good mix of people who were already quite successful in their current careers. The goal of the course was to eliminate enough of the participants to get down to the final six. Only these would end up advancing. If we made it to the final six, we didn't just get a raise or a new badge or another accolade to add to our file, but we got to actually change jobs, leave our current unit, and join a new unit with a different mission. Success in this training was therefore a huge personal accomplishment and also a game changer in terms of our careers. The course didn't run for a specific amount of time like most things in the military do. Instead, this one ran until the 20 course attendees got whittled down to 6. The rumor was that the record was 21 days, and we were hoping it wouldn't take that long. Of course, if you quit, you weren't kicked out of the military or your current job. Nothing bad would actually happen. You'd just go back to being a stud at the top of your game wherever you currently worked. So the decision to continue had to come from deep within. All 20 people in the course were there because they were high performers at what they already did. Day after day, we swam and ran and swam and did every exercise imaginable in all sorts of conditions, day, night, rain, or shine. We went from classroom work to the range to the gym to running to swimming, all with very little food or sleep. The instructors weren't trying to hurt anyone. They just wanted to keep the 6 most emotionally tough guys. And all of the 20 of us knew by this time in our careers that it wasn't going to be a physical decision as much as an emotional one. It was physically grueling. We had all been through many courses, from basic training to leadership courses, and we all knew that the key element was more emotional and mental than it was physical. Sure enough, one by one, and sometimes in pairs, people quit. When they were ready to give up, they just blew their whistle, and the instructors would very quickly take them away. The 20 people became 9 very quickly, and then it stayed like that for days and days. It just seemed like out of the 9, no one was ever going to give up. As the work got harder and harder, and all 9 people looked like they weren't going to blow their whistle no matter what, I began to think that maybe it would be me. The challenge was so difficult, and I started to weaken. I knew as soon as I started thinking like that my self-doubt would grow and grow, so I squelched it as fast as I could. But when you're cold and wet and tired and hungry and sore, and you already have a good job waiting for you, it's easy to think about quitting. Then I started playing mind games with myself. I said, when the next guy quits, I'll go with him. That way I won't be ashamed because I'm the first of the 9 to break. This plan worked pretty well because nobody else quit. We all just kept pushing ourselves no matter what the instructors required of us. Then one morning, still in darkness, we were awakened after just 90 minutes of sleep and told to get ready to run but to bring our wetsuits, fins, and masks. This meant sometime in the next few hours we were going to swim. We started out running and then running more and more past all the places that we usually turned around. I said to myself, I'll run to the next landmark and then I'll quit. But when I got there, I reset my mind with a new landmark. And I kept doing this for a long time. We ran for the longest I had ever run before, way longer. Finally, I saw water ahead, but I didn't see any safety boats. This meant we wouldn't be swimming, and that knowledge helped me keep going. Then when we made it to the water, boats suddenly appeared. I knew I was at my breaking point. We got to the beach, and with no break, the instructors had us suit up and enter the water. I knew I couldn't go any further. I had no idea where we were swimming to because we'd never left from that spot before, and I couldn't even see the other shore or anywhere to go. After the run we had just completed, I wouldn't have been surprised if they made us swim across the entire ocean. I was so demoralized, and I no longer had any landmarks to help me set a go. I couldn't see an end to the swim, and I started to go up and down in the swells as we headed further into the open water and away from the shore. I was done. This was the end, and I was ready to break, when suddenly I heard a whistle. I wasn't positive, so I looked around, and sure enough, someone had quit. I knew there were only 2 of us left to quit, and I knew one would be me. But I figured I might as well be the last guy to quit instead of second to last. Then I heard another whistle, and I felt so happy. My turn next, I told myself. I decided I would wait until the boat came by me again. I knew I was done. Every time my arm took a stroke and came close to the whistle, I felt like grabbing it and blowing it. I was certain that at any moment I would actually follow through and quit. Then all of a sudden I heard another whistle. I was shocked. There were suddenly only 6 of us left. Almost immediately, a loud horde sounded, and we were hauled from the water. The 6 of us just lay there exhausted. The people who quit were already in a separate boat, and they stayed there for the ride home. The difference between me and the last guy who quit was merely seconds. Sometimes, hanging on is just a matter of hanging on a bit longer than everyone else. The other person I wanted to talk about was my son Harley. I realized the other day in the black belt class that Harley will become the first master instructor that I ever get to promote in Krav Maga martial arts. And that's awesome because I remember Harley when I opened the first school in my arms as a little baby. And that was 15 years ago. And he's been training for many of those years, about 13 of them thus far. And he's done it right every step of the way. There were 2 years between first and second, and 3 years between second and third, and 4 years between third and fourth. But because all of the other people that started, and even the ones that made it to their black belt during that time, have left, and Harley has stayed, he will be the first. Sometimes it just does take hanging on a little bit longer. So whatever it is you're hanging on to, keep hanging on and be the very best that you can be. Thanks for spending this time with me today.